to another segment of Tales from the Blindside. I got my brothers here again with me, man. Todd Herremans, Jamaal Jackson. We finally get a chance to talk about a win.
Woo!
Yeah, man.
A win!
We are now 1, 2, and 1.
1, 2, and 1. But we're leading we're number 1 right now.
Yeah.
With 1, 2, and 1.
If you ain't first,
that's crazy.
you're last. If you ain't first, you're last in the NFC East.
As ugly as it sounds, yeah. Number 1 in the East, man. I mean, just a week ago, boy, this shit was on fire.
Yeah. They were ready to all right, you know what, we need to ship everybody
out of here.
Man, we got to go, man. Doug was getting snippy with the reporters. I mean, it was going sideways, man. But I'm glad that they went out there and got this W. But before we get into the game, you know, let's just talk about just leading up into the game, you know, because I know we touched on, you know, we got the news that, you know, JP went down. And then we come to find out that there was some illness going on. Then there was a possible foot issue. And then now he goes on IR with a toe. What were you guys? What were you guys feeling when you saw the news from that?
It's crazy, man. I mean, I'm speechless. I'm actually, you know, because he was laboring out there, and they from the looks of it, he wasn't in shape. Like, he wasn't in shape enough to, you know, kind of compete with some of those younger guys. I mean, he's 38. I mean, with that being said, like, you wasn't really prepared to come into the season because they had you at guard, and then you demand this money to go to tackle when the team is vulnerable, you get paid, and, you know what I'm saying, the first couple games is like we spot shadowing you. So, you know, I think the IR thing, rather, you know, by being a toe or whatever the case may be, it'll be beneficial to them because now they get to see what they got in Jordan Mailata. You know, this guy's been a project for like 3 years. You know, it's finally time to see what he got, you know, given the fact that, you know, Dillard was out for the season. But, you know, you just got to wish the guy well, man. I mean, that's all you can say about it.
Yeah, and I hope that he comes back right, you know, gets healthy, whatever the situation is with his toe. I hope it gets right. But, you know, and then, you know, it's just a tough situation, especially when you were depending on him to come back and do his thing, you know. But then the next news was that Desean Jackson comes out, and the report is...
Well, you know, back to the JP thing.
Okay, my bad, Todd. I didn't mean to skip over you.
You got to give him a shot. Give him 15 seconds.
Before you bring my high down. I don't really know what to expect here, but nothing surprises me. I think, you know, JP is one of those players that's put us through these emotional roller coasters, and we've kind of become numb to it. And IR isn't what it used to be. You know what I mean? Jack was kind of explaining this to me recently. I didn't really get this. You know, IR is a maximum 3 weeks, and you come back and play now?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, so like that's not a big deal. I think that might be able to just give them a little bit of roster space so he can rest up and you know, maybe get a little bit more in shape or something and get a little more well prepared. You know, I think JP is not just gonna shut it down because of a toe or something like that, unless he's gonna require surgery. You know what I mean? JP's he goes through that ups and downs, but he'll grind it out. I think it's too early for him to be chalking up you know, just wrapping it up.
So you think there's a possibility that he'll be back?
I think so. Yeah.
I think if he comes,
so, man.
But if he comes back, I think they should slide him back in at right guard. I mean, hell, you got the money.
Well, Jordan, I agree now that how we see Jordan play. Yeah.
Yeah, like if Jordan can progress from yesterday, given it wasn't against Nick Bosa, one of the brothers. It wasn't against him because, hey, that dude was a grown man last year. So, you know, I think he went up against some quality defensive ends last night and he held his own. But, you know, the test will be this week against Pittsburgh because they ain't no slouches. Like, they got some, that's like linebacker university, and they get after the quarterback. So we'll see.
One thing I think they do need to get going on is a little bit of consistency up front, though. Like, keep changing shit in and out. Like, whoever's going to be out there has got to get some weeks and some reps in together to get any kind of flow as a unit for Carson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I think he don't even know. Yeah, well, go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to get into the game. We're going to get into the game. But I wanted to kind of talk about just leading up to it right now.
Right.
You know, when you also have Desean Jackson, it's reported that he's not able to play in this game because of a hamstring issue. But on the day that it's reported that he can't make the game, he drops an album, Against All Odds.
Against all odds.
Against all odds.
The title says it all, bro.
Yeah, and that's what he said. That was his tweet. That the title says it all, Against All Odds. By
Here's
Desean
my
Jackson.
biggest surprise. Here's my biggest surprise to the album is I can't believe that his album is taking how many years is this for him? 12 years. It's taken 12 years for DJ to put out an album. I thought for sure he'd have been putting albums out like way before this.
I mean, didn't he have a studio like for years now? Like the record company, the Jackpot Records, right? Isn't it his?
Something like, yeah, but I think he was like representing other entertainers,
okay,
something like that.
I mean, I wasn't able to get into the album just yet. I mean, I'm gonna get around to it, man. I know you sent me the link, but I just didn't even press the button, dog. My bad. I mean,
it's okay. I mean, okay.
I'm gonna check it out because I really want to give, my lyrical critique of it. Because I've never heard DJ rap. I never did, and he's from Cali, so he gotta have something.
Bro, it just sounds like they're sitting in their locker freestyling like after practice, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit.
You've heard it. You've heard Trent Cole do it.
Oh no.
No. Katie Paint.
Oh man. All right. Well.
A lot of reference of big playmaking ability. Of course there are some
fat pockets. Pockets.
Yeah, so fat pockets.
Wealthy individual.
He's acquired quite a bit of wealth.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. There's been some interesting reviews that have been out there about the album, and it's I'm just gonna keep moving. All right. So
we ain't the sauce now. Like
yeah. So we're just gonna keep moving. So yeah. So if you have, do you, man? I'm not putting out an album. You do you.
Nah, man. What do you do? What do you have? Like some? It was some racial tones in there.
I don't think.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. It was a lot of some of that in there, and a lot of racial stuff in it. I mean, he was doing an album. It was a rap album.
It's okay. Rap album. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So it is what it is. I mean, but either way, I just felt like the timing of it was not good.
Well, given the whole social media thing that happened, you know. So
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
What social media thing?
Oh, with the whole Jewish thing and
with
all
the
that.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
It bears not repeating. So
yeah. So
I get what you're saying about the whole timing of it.
Yeah, I just felt like the timing of it where it's like, all right, the team needs you. You're the leader. The team needs leadership right now. You're supposed to be the guy that's supposed to be in that receiver locker room, being in the receiver meeting room, being that voice, and that you're not playing. But then you like the time, the day during the same hour that they announced that you're not going to San Fran to play, you sent out a tweet saying, "Hey, my album just dropped."
The title says it all.
Against All Odds. Yeah. So there you go.
It's an uphill climb, bro.
Yo, I gotta hear this album, dude.
Yeah. It's
gotta hear this.
You should go and read some of the reviews first, and then check out the album. Just so you
want me to read it? Okay.
No. Just listen to it without getting any kind of sway of your opinion at all.
Yeah.
Just go in neutral.
I don't want to veer
completely unbiased
direction, right? Right. You're right. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah, you should check it out, man. Give it a listen. So if you guys are out there, check out Against All Odds by Desean Jackson. Let us know what you think, and then we just take it from there. That's what we'll do. Next show, we'll have people let us know, give us some feedback, and then we'll give her a little review, give what the people are talking about.
I read a review first, so I feel like it influenced me, and I feel like I'm being critical because I'm not a rapper. So I do your thing, man.
Yeah, do you? I guess that's.
I mean, you know, they encourage you to, you know, do your thing. That's like an off the field endeavor. I'm quite sure he didn't just finish this album during the season. It had to be finished like, you know, prior to, and he's just like setting up a release date with a, hey man, it's marketing in this, dude.
But you release it when you 0-2-1 and you're not playing. It's one thing now if you out there tearing up the field.
Maybe he's trying to create some momentum.
Okay.
Maybe he's trying to build some positive momentum for the season.
All right, get the good vibe going.
They got a win against all odds, bro.
Against all odds, they got a win. So there you go. Desean Jackson drops the album. The Eagles get a win.
It all turned around right here. We know what happened.
There it is. So we can put it on Desean Jackson. There we go.
He didn't go on IR, did he?
No. I think he can still come back because it was a hamstring issue.
Right?
Oh, he got a hamstring. Okay. So, you know.
So, you know, but yeah. Anyway, so all right, we're moving on to the game, man. So now, you know, you get the announcement that Jordan Mailata is going to get this start. I don't know about y'all going into this game. I was a little nervous, you know, going into it just because you hadn't seen much of Jordan Mailata. I know that I've done a lot of film study on him. I went back and I watched way too many preseason games from last year. Went back and watched the game that he stepped in when Jack Driscoll went down against Washington at right tackle, and then when he went in for JP for those 2 plays during the Rams game. Was it the Rams game? No, I don't even know, man.
It was one on, man.
Cincinnati game. Yeah, so it was the Cincinnati game, yeah. So I went back and watched the film on that, and I was just, you know, I felt like, okay, you know what? He held his own when he stepped in there, but I was a little nervous going into this game just because I hadn't seen much from him, and especially at left tackle. But, man, I got to tell you, man, if you go back and you watch this game, man, Jordan Mailata played a hell of a game. What did you guys see from it?
I agree with you. I think that I was nervous going into this because you didn't see. I personally, I wasn't watching any film or anything, so I haven't seen anything on this guy. He's more of an urban legend over the past couple of years. You know, you hear how great of an athlete he is. He can play a ukulele and sing, so it looks like a songbird. And he's funny in the locker room apparently, but you just heard all these things. You never seen anything about him on the field. And then he was on IR, and they're saying, well, he's not really, you know, on IR, but now he's back. I had no idea what to expect. I had somehow created some opinion in my head that he was just soft. I don't know why. But I liked what I saw. I guess I didn't give him a lot of high expectations to overcome. But I thought he looked good. There was a couple times where, you know, he got out of position, but it's like a body weight center of gravity type thing. And, you know, as long as he can stay in position and stay balanced, he's a big, strong dude. And I thought it's a lot to work off of.
Yeah, so he has a voice like Jesus and Fergie, huh?
What the fuck was that?
He is a songbird of his generation, man. Yeah, I mean, the ukulele comes from anywhere. It's like, bam, ukulele, bam, there we go.
Now, before we go putting, you know, the good old chap into a Canton, like, I mean, he's
relax, bro.
He got some work to do.
I mean, somebody tweeted me and was like, hey, can he be elite? I'm like, whoa.
It
was just one game. Like, let's enjoy what we have right now.
And I mean, we've only gotten a sample size in the preseason, and you know, and then those snaps you were talking about earlier. And like you said, I mean, there's some things he got to work on, but I do like the fact that they don't have to teach him aggression. Because, I mean, the guy comes off the ball, you know, with some thump. I mean, he's a big guy. So it's like, you know, at best, you know, he played rugby. So they used to the physicality, you know, without fucking helmets in a face mask. So, you know, he shouldn't have a problem with mixing it up, but, you know, I think the athletic part of it is where he kind of gets into trouble a little bit, like knowing when to snap on like a TE or a stunt, or, you know, when to like, you know, take over all blocks, so to speak, because it was a couple times, they only did probably like 1 or 2 twists over there, and they actually highlighted the one in the first half where he kind of got like, he was blocking a dude, But then the dude went inside and he just kind of like just stood there and didn't know what else to do. Then the other guy, I think Herbig, he was on to the guy, but then his guy looped. And, it was kind of like gave up the pressure there. I think with more work and more chemistry with the rest of the guys, I mean, he'll get better at it. It's just, it'll take some time. And especially, you're going to go up against, I think Cameron Jordan this week, or what's the defensive end from Pittsburgh?
Cam
Haywood. Cam Haywood, right? Yeah, I mean, dude, he ain't no slouch now. I mean, their defensive line gets after it. So, we don't see what he's made of, but I think for his first start, given that he was notified probably a day, because they beat on IR 2 days before the game, so I think he fared well for himself.
Yeah, I think now when it comes to the aggression part of it, I do think that he still needs to find that when to have that fucking attitude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna come out here and go lay this fucking linebacker out. Come out there and put a good thump on him. But like you said, he is extremely athletic, extremely powerful. And then sometimes I just feel like it's the nastiness, what I'm saying?
He doesn't have that lineman switch. Because he's not, he's just learning the sport. The guy came from playing rugby in, Australia, so he don't know. And it's like over here, how we play football in the States, it's like a culture. You start playing like that since you were young, and he's trying to learn this with the past 3 years. So, I mean, this is a great year for him to get his feet wet because, everybody doesn't have an off season. It's different than what it was in the past. And training camp is kind of like you're on even playing field. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think he's going to continue. Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you could have definitely used the preseason, man. These are the guys that you could have loved to see battle tested out there in the preseason. Even given, who knows where we're gonna be with left tackle, but I mean, in the preseason we thought we were having everybody elsewhere, but just giving them those reps and stuff out there in a game, going to this would have gave us something more to see of him and a little more insurance and that time to develop those things. Especially with a guard and the switch offs with the stunts, like you're saying, Jack. But that's just going to have something they're going to have to drill over and over and over in practice, especially when they see a team that they're going to see that's doing a lot of movement and stuff.
Yeah, because Pittsburgh is going to come with a lot of different stunts. They're going to come with a lot of different blitzes. So communication is going to be extremely important. And they're a group that can get after the quarterback, like you were saying earlier. So this is going to be a big test for them. You don't have the preseason. And I think just the way things are right now with no fans in the stadium and everything, you can hear the cadence. I think that's huge right there.
They starting to let fans in October, though.
Yeah, that's what they were kind of saying that possibly
20,000 or something like that.
I think it's 5%. I don't know, something like that. It's a percentage of the stadium. I was supposed.
Hey, what was going on with Lane this last game? I couldn't figure out with the injury or whatever. He was out, and then it looked like he was out for good.
Well, Doug said it was his ankle.
Back on.
Yeah. He's been having ankle issues. He has surgery.
He had it cleaned out, right? He had it cleaned out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Right in the middle of training camp. So.
Oh, so we're just still healing.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably.
I mean, damn, you had to get it done.
No, Jack. No, that's something you do at the beginning. Come on, Jack. You do that in January.
Hey,
now.
I'm gonna give Lane a pass because the record speaks for itself when he plays. So, hell, if he feels as though he needs to get surgery in the middle of training camp, damn it, Lane have surgery in the middle of training camp. Because we know he gonna back.
Yo, I just want to tell
you. So fuck it. Hey, you want to have surgery tomorrow? I'll have surgery tomorrow.
Tell you the emotions. The emotions that I went through watching this last game after he went out and then he was on the sidelines. And I was like, oh, man, not Lane. That's an L without Lane.
Right.
And
I'm like, yo.
I see him put his helmet back on and I'm like, yeah. Next thing I know, I see him out on the field. I see him on the field with I'm like, we're gonna win this motherfucker.
I heard the announcer saying 65. Lane Johnson exited the field. I was like, exit the field? Where you going? No,
Yeah.
man, you're going. No, hey, sit on the sideline with your helmet on, man. We need you on the field, period. You don't even got to be in the game. As long as you're on the field, we winning. Shit, he stood on the sideline.
I've never seen so many guys walk back to the locker room with no limp or anything. It's just like, hey, man, just go take a stroll. Like, I thought he was going to use the bathroom at first. Like, oh, he went to go take a shit? Like, is that what's going on?
Hey, man, no, I mean, the man, he did just have surgery, so I'm quite sure they had some, some magic Gatorade back there for him to take.
Yeah, it's just to get him right there.
Yeah, he was dehydrated. That's all that was. He was dehydrated.
Is this a direct result of all the guaranteed money you're seeing now? Is guys just like, I'm gonna go walk this off for a few plays. I'll be back. Y'all handle this for a minute.
Yeah. I need a little time out, catch my breath. I'll be back into it in a little bit.
I'm really feeling emotionally attacked. I'm gonna go walk this off.
But I think just having Lane, like you said, though, I think having Lane in there, it does really seal up that offensive line, and he brings a certain toughness and attitude to the group that really I think that the other guys feed off of. Now, that leads us to his right guard, Matt Pryor. Last year when Matt Pryor stepped in for Brandon Brooks, I thought that Matt Pryor was going to be the guy. I thought that he could possibly be the guy for them. And, it's been kind of disappointing a little bit, just seeing how he's been playing. He's been late with his hands. He's caught leaning a lot. They don't do a good job with some of the linebacker blitzing and stuff like that. So I just feel like, it hasn't been what I was expecting from him at right guard.
I mean, what would you correlate that to? Coaching? I mean, are they getting extra reps? These are young guys that are thrusted into action for the first time. Yeah, they've been on the team for probably like a year or so, but none of them had like in-game action. So essentially, this is like their rookie year. They haven't played any regular season games years prior. So, with that being said, they should have at least tried to get extra reps in, after practice, like we used to do with Juan get our ass out there before practice, doing practice. Like, he's still in time any way he can.
Right.
Yeah.
Blitz, come over here. Let's go hit this punching bag. Let's just walk over these drills. Like, I mean, he's still in every piece of sunlight that he has on the field. And, some of that stuff is showing because, man, it's a couple times where, they're sliding to his side and he's the impression that he has a defensive end when the outside linebacker is busting right through your B gap. And he just totally got to go and crushes Carson. So, we give the quarterback a lot of slack, but hell, he got to be tough as shit to stand in there to outplay the mistakes of the young guys, So, I mean, they deserve a lot of that fucking blame too when he's getting his ass hit. So, things they got to work on.
Mm-hmm.
I think though that that's just a direct result of not having the time for those reps, and it's just so much time off, and then you're thrown into football, man. And I don't know what kind of time constraints have they been on for practice. Are they able to go out a half hour early? Are they able to stay like a half hour late and do that stuff?
Yeah, with the protocol.
That means he's got to go do it all on his own then, and he's not doing that on his own. I remember when I had to take time off for a bye week or whatever, I'd come back, I'd be falling on my face too, getting swam, even if I was deep into the season, I'd still get beat like that sometimes on my toes. So I just don't think – I think they're just not getting the reps. Like you're saying, the drills, I just don't know if they've had the time because of this whole pandemic lockdown type, are they controlling the length of the practices and the amount of time that they're able to work on these things,
Yeah, and with the new CBA rules and all of that, because where everybody's like, whoa, I don't need to be out here on the field for this amount of time. Because Juan used to have us out there shoot. You were having padded practices on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then on Fridays when we went just shells, he would still
bring
have
your shoulder pads out.
Oh yeah, man, y'all bring your shoulder pads out because once practice over with, we're gonna get a little extra in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
we're gonna do some.
Man,
we're gonna do some
like
swap blocks.
Practice, man. I'm like, come on, Juan. I'm like, Juan, year 5, man. Come on, help me out, baby. Help me out. Like, So we be out there, hey, everybody going there to get the wings and the pizza. I'm like,
Yeah.
35 minutes out the practice. Like, can we go now?
Juan was about getting that work in, man. But I think with the way the league is right now with the rules, you really can't do all of that. So you're going to see some technical issues unless you have someone that's going to come in there and work with these guys off the clock.
Well, unless they just have the self-discipline to do it themselves and they know the game and the technique to be able to practice that. Because, shit, if you don't know the right technique, you could go practice some horseshit technique a million times a day. It's going to look like horseshit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they might be thinking they're doing the right things on their own, but it might not be. You know what I mean?
It's not hard to go over in that goddamn bubble and just practice your sets over and over. And because that's all offensive line is. It's repetition. You just got to, it's muscle memory. If you continuously do the right technique, the right steps, you'll do the shit in the game with your eyes closed. And I just don't think, with the new sort of how, Doug is so much of a player's coach, I don't think he really, enforces that. You got to coach these guys hard. You 1, 2, and 1. Yeah. Your job's on the line. Hell, the quarterback's job's on the line. Everybody's job's on the line. Hell, nobody ain't safe. They got rid of Bill O'Brien as the GM and the quarterback. Coming in, the head coach. So, hell, they're not living on that Super Bowl year.
Right, but they're professionals, man. They got to be able to get in there and get that work on their own. They can't expect the coaches to be chasing them down and telling them to go get their sets in and stuff. I mean, Juan was special in that way,
right?
And we were good as a direct result of that, But I feel like we were all those type of players that would have still put in that extra work, probably not near as much as Juan had us put in, but we're still self-disciplined players that would want to work on our craft. I just
75-pound sandbags, man. Shit. Got my bag fucked up now.
We definitely wouldn't use the fucking sandbags.
No. Sandbags were awful.
Yeah, man. We would have been out there with them big ass sandbags, man. Got my back all jacked up now with that shit, man.
I'm like, man, why? Can I get the smaller one? Nah, Jack. Hey, no, we use the big one.
Yeah, the big red ones, and you got to hold them out there, getting that nice posture. Let's get it.
I always thought to myself, man, I don't imagine myself actually carrying a defensive lineman like we had to carry the fucking sandbags.
No.
Whatever. It was one, so, posture.
And that's what I see a lot of times when you look at Jordan Mailata, his posture is a little off. Where because what Coach Stout teaches those double underhand hooks. So he likes for you to kind of get your hands underneath.
Like reach around or whatever?
Well, reach underneath where it's like, if it's a bull rush.
Jesus, Jack.
Yeah, no reach around. No reach around. Just, no.
Hey, man. Hi, man.
Yeah, no reach arounds. No. But what he teaches. Double underhand hooks where he wants you to shoot your hands underneath, and it's like,
hey, don't do that, Trey. Don't do that, man. No.
Okay,
it look crazy on the film.
I'm just saying, but it's a double underhand hooks. So, but it puts you in a bad posture when you get the bull rush, and then if you mess around and get a butt and go. And you're bent over or whatever, then now you off balance, So I just feel like there's not enough punching being taught. But I mean, for whatever it is, I mean, if it's a guy that's running straight into you, I'm all for the double underhand hooks. But if it's something a defensive end that's going to give you that flash and go type of move, you're gonna be done because I mean, you're gonna be out of posture. But hopefully that's something that they'll continue to work on when you're talking about technique and getting better as offensive linemen.
Yeah, but whether it's a flash of goal or bull rush, that punch, boy, hey, man, it stop all that time, and you know that.
But the key is to get the wrist braces, right? You got to get the wrist braces. You got to have 5 or 6 of them plates on the back of them.
Hey, get those Don Joy wrist braces. I had some upstairs somewhere. Wait.
Trey had 10 of them bitches. I was like, I thought they free, but damn, he used all of it. They make a cast and everything.
Yeah, I used to get my hands casted, everything, man.
Yeah.
Got to shoot those hands.
Very extra with it.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, you got to protect these things, man. Because, I mean,
hey,
at
Trey,
the end
what
of the
are you
day,
about
we got
to
to
do?
go to war.
I got to go get my cast cut off.
Hey, get them every week. And make sure when we got to those Don Joys, I made sure we got a fresh pair every game. You know what I'm saying? Just because I ain't want to, because they get all wet and soggy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
They get a little funky.
Yeah, get a fresh pair every week, man. So, yeah, but I think just as this group continues to go, I mean, they come out of this game. I think they had 93 yards rushing. Of course, Carson Wentz had most of that. He had 37 yards. Got out of trouble. You saw flashes of the old Carson Wentz in this game.
Yeah, he did a lot of moving around. Like and it wasn't the moving around where that he was just doing it to like escape trouble. It was more or less those I like the read option play that he scored on. I mean, he showed some of that 2016, 2017 athletic ability, before all the injuries and whatnot. And
before all the injuries.
Yeah, before all the injuries, because injuries slow you down.
Hey, guess what, guys? If he keeps playing like that, it's gonna be tough to stay away from the injuries. He can't expose himself like that. Yeah, it's great to see, but like he can't do that for the length of the season, bro.
Yeah, it was a lot of reckless diving like that. I mean, given his injury history, you kind of like, hey, you don't want to be doing that. But the guy, he's a gamer, and if you take that away from him, then you get the Carson from the past 3 weeks, and if you don't want that. I mean, hell, you gotta let the guy play how he's playing. Like, and they did win the game, but I was still a bit, kind of, I think, a bit confused about some of the play calling because, man, like Doug, he had me scratching my head, but some of those, like the reverse that they did to the one kid killings, they wound up cutting him today. Like that drive, albeit I think it ended up in a touchdown that Carson threw. They had some momentum going. They was running the ball well. They was passing the ball well. They seemed to have total control of the game because the 49ers quarterback, he was awful. He didn't even show up. Had they started the dude,
the dude that marched all over the field at the end of the game.
Dude, he had 138 yards in 2 drives. Carson threw for 193 for the game. If they would have started him, I don't know. He would have threw for 350 easy, But luckily, the D lineman kind of got after it a little bit. But man, it was an ugly win. So it's like not really nothing to kind of like get like so hyped over, but just to see that the quarterback did kind of like willed the offense to some important drives and put points on the board. That's a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you come back and you look at they put up 14 points because you had the Carson score, and then you had the touchdown that he threw to I don't even know Fulgham.
Yeah.
Fulgham.
Yeah, Fulgham.
But
yeah, so Travis.
Fulgham.
Yeah, Fulgham. Travis.
Fulgham.
See that? Now you messing
Travis
with him, right?
Fulgham, not Travis Fulgham.
Yeah, Travis Fulgham. That was a beautiful throw. Great protection. Awesome throw. Great balance to get in the end zone. And then he got out there in front of the reporters. He was like, shit, that's just what I do, baby.
Gotta love it. Gotta love the confidence.
Hey, man. Hey. Boy, and that boy 24 hours fresh off the practice squad.
Hey.
Scoring in prime time.
Hey. Shit, that's what I do, baby. All I do is catch touchdowns. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? 2 receptions, 57 yards, 3 targets, 1 touchdown. That's all I do, baby. Just catch touchdowns.
Oh, he had 57 yards and like, oh man, This dude just came off the practice squad with 57 yards, and they drafted receivers in the second round that don't even have that.
But for whatever reason, Carson plays better when he has perceived lesser talent around him at the receiver core. I don't know what it is. Is it that he's able to just show his personality and just go out there and say, fuck it, I run the show, and then he just go out there and do his thing? Or is it where when you have a Desean Jackson or you have some of these bigger name guys that you feel like, you know what, I have to get them involved, but you don't play your game. Like, what is it? You know, but you have a lesser talented group, perceived talented group, and you just go out there and light the world on fire.
I think it's about expectations. I think a lot of it's about expectations. You know what I mean? It's hard to go out there and meet the expectations that people will give you if you're a really good quarterback and they throw weapons around you. You know what I mean? You're supposed to dazzle. You're not supposed to lose games. You're not supposed to tie games. That stuff's not supposed to happen. So you go out there when nobody knows any of the names of the receivers. When somebody catches a touchdown, everybody has to go, "Who's that?" Yeah. You know, there's no expectations. We're like, "Oh, all right, I didn't expect to be catching touchdowns. Nice. It's good to see that." Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like they probably don't feel the expectations as much in the locker room when they don't have so many people, when they're not fully loaded, you know? And I think a lot of times it's hard for a team to turn that into confidence. You know what I mean? Like expectations into confidence, it doesn't always happen. You know, the confidence doesn't always meet expectations. And I think that's one of the things we're seeing right here.
Yeah, I just think the guy just plays better when they're the underdogs and he's against all adversity. I mean, he had one starting offensive lineman last night at one point in the game. Yeah. And they still came away with the victory. Like, I don't know how many quarterbacks will their team to a win after having a complement of, you know, protectors like that, but he did. And, you know, all the stuff prior to that, I think, you know, the guy he's just in his own head, you know, like, how we've seen it like the last quarter of last season when they had a bunch of no-name guys and, you know, guys that are like, you know, trying to get on the field. It's kind of like the same thing this year where he thrives when he's the go-to option, the go-to playmaker as the quarterback, you know, because he wants to play reckless. And I think that fits his style. Like, you see all the games that they do come back and win and they're always in it. He's always doing something that you go like, damn, another quarterback will probably don't want him trying that because the field's getting hurt. But yeah, if you don't unleash him, you don't get your results like we did last night.
Exactly. You know what? It was one thing that I wanted to go back to before we move on to the defense. Sticking with the offense, we'll just touch on the offensive line real quick. Kelsey with these bad snaps. Jack, you know, you the center. I know nothing about snapping that ball.
Hey, man.
You know, and Kelsey has a couple of these, you know, throughout the year sometimes, you know, where he gets a little sporadic with that snap. You know, that was a big momentum killer in that one. You had Mailata when he jumped off sides and when it was right there on the 1 yard line. And then you have Kelsey with the snap where he snapped the ball over Wentz's head.
That was like 3rd and 22. Yeah. It was like a 17-yard loss. Yeah, I mean, in that situation, you know, I think the guard could have helped him out a lot because he was trying to reach a guy that was damn near in almost a 2 eye of the guard, almost a 3 technique. So it's like, I know you're athletic enough to get there, but come on, like kind of hold him off a little bit, secure the snap first. And like that was his problem last night on the one errant pass because he just shot that bitch back there thinking like, I got to get across because if I don't, this guy's going to like bust the play up. Yeah. And then the one with Ertz, it was just a little off to the right. I just think that snapping it to Carson, and you get a different body in there who's he's expecting the ball like right in between, I guess, the two. Whereas, you know, Carson will reach forward to his right or to his left, but on that, you just got to be like, hey, man, rookie, you got to make a play. Like,
now the one on Hurts, I was like, Hurts, you got to
you got to make that.
Yeah, you got to get that. But the one over the head, I did. Sometimes, you know what, Jake, that's a good point. When you're saying, okay, he had to reach almost, because that was a big reach for him to have to try to get that 2 out to the 3. Do you feel like at times that they kind of spread the line a little too thin? Where if maybe you should have just said, you know what, if I got to get all the way to a damn 3 technique, maybe we should say fuck it and go black over and go to the 1.
You know what? You know how you stop or you prevent that from happening? If whether it was a run or a pass, go in the center. You can ride the quarterback and still get there. Mm-hmm. But when you're in the gun, you got to get back there quick so you can get that off arm up. But when you're under center, I mean, he can snap it and get his shoulder into him right away. That way you got enough time to kind of like recover with that offhand. But, you know, when they ain't gun so much, it's like, damn, I know I'm not going to get help from this guard, but I would at least been like, hey, man, give me a little L or something, like just to hold him up for a little bit.
Yeah, but again, I still think at times they spread a little too thin, though, where you got Kelsey trying to get all the way to that 3.
All the way. Yeah. Hey, I mean, and that's a product of, hey, man, we got an all-pro center. He can run a 4.9 40. He can get there. So we're gonna lead these guards with these tackles, and we're gonna let him handle, you know, trying to reach a damn near 2-eye, almost 3 technique.
You got a 1 technique on the other side. Fuck that. Go black over.
Hey,
go
man.
black over. Whatever. If it's an outside zone to the left, it could be inside zone to the right.
True enough. But you know, I think that was a microcosm of what they was telling Carson to do, because it was everything this game was calling and running. Those passes that he had, man, you look, he's 1, 2, 3, ball gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ball gone. Like, it wasn't no looking or nothing, like, unless he had like pressure in his face. Like the ones that he completed to the dude, fuck him, whatever y'all call him. Him. Yeah, when he hit him and then the other guy Ward over the middle, like, you know, it's just when you take the thinking out of it, it lets him become more of a instinctual athlete more than anything.
All right. Ty, you got anything you want to add to that, my man?
About the snaps?
Yeah.
Man, he fires them fuckers back there sometimes. Kelsey sends some fucking laser beams back there.
I mean, you better be on your shit.
But I think that's all part of it, man. Like, if he's getting expected to get over to like a 2 or a 3 technique, he's gonna try to throw that bitch back there and get going. Like,
get going. Yeah.
Kelsey's an explosive individual. You know what I mean? Like, he does things pretty fast.
Yeah. It's going. All right, man.
But you know, part of that might also be just not being comfortable with his guards, not knowing what they're going to give him too. I mean, Jackie used to communicate that to us. If he felt that we were hanging him out to dry because apparently the center is the only one on an island ever, he would just tell me, you know, give him a shot. Hey, Todd, give him a little bump for me here before you go. Trey's good out there, Todd.
Hey, and if he didn't,
we gotta stick together inside here, Todd.
Hey, boy, and when he didn't, the next time we got up there, I was yelling double A. Yeah. Now you gotta come.
Pull the curtain.
I'm like, yeah, I get to make the calls now, motherfucker.
Oh man. Oh, hilarious, dude. All right, man. All right, so we're gonna switch over to defense real quick, man. I think that the defense really came to play this game, you know, especially on defensive front. Over these past 2 games, you've had 13 sacks. You had 15 quarterback hits in this last game here. They ended up with 5 sacks, 15 quarterback hits. I think they had 8 sacks last week, over like 18 quarterback hits. I mean, this defensive front is starting to come around, man. You saw Barnett really just go after Trent Williams. Like, they went after Trent Williams like he was nothing. And I mean, it was and I think right now you're having a nice, especially with this defensive front, you have some nice change of pace guys that can give you a little something different. You have Avery coming in, who ended up with 1 sack, a tackle for a loss, and I think he had a tackle for a loss, and he also had 5 quarterback hits by himself. Man,
he was giving Mike McGlinchey that work, boy. I'm telling you, he was giving it to him. He was bullying him, ducking underneath it, in and out. Nah, he brought it like that. The whole D line really brought it yesterday, you know. And like you said, Josh Sweat got in there. Like, their ends are starting to play real well. You know, the guys on the inside, they do their things also. Malik Jackson, Fletcher Cox, Hassan Ridgway, I think he had a sack yesterday.
Yeah.
The guy, the D tackle that they signed in the offseason from Pittsburgh, he's starting to come around. Number 93. I saw him. He was in there stuffing the run. Yeah. So the 49ers, they like to run the ball. And, you know, for a team that don't really have like depth or really great linebackers, Man, that defensive line was disruptive last night.
Yeah, I mean, because you come out of there and you only give up 116 yards rushing. I mean, you know, they did what they were supposed to do out there. I think as a defensive unit. I think our linebacker play was a little bit better. You know. Yeah.
I mean, the one guy, man, the interception. And the guy clearly said the quarterback just threw it to me.
But he caught it.
But you caught it already. Good job. Good job. Like
that's a bonus for a defensive player right there. Defensive
there was no thinking about, dude, dropped into a coverage, and the quarterback knew it right to him. It's like, it was a great catch, great run. But it wasn't difficult at all.
I mean, you know what? I take it. Now you go back and you look at the Cincinnati game where Joe Burrow was working our linebackers with his eyes. So Joe Burrow looked one way, the linebackers just take off that way.
Oh, yeah.
And then he come back and throw it to the right. So at least this time, they were looking in the backfield, but they dropped back into their zones this week. And so I thought that was just a big, interception. To come out, our defense went from no takeaways to 3 takeaways in the game. Three in one game. 1 interception, 2 fumbles? Or was it a fumble and 2 interceptions? I don't know. 2 interceptions and 1 fumble. Progress. We're moving. Yeah.
I mean, it's actually more than that, because I think they're number 1 in the league in sacks.
Yeah, they should be up there. Yeah, number 1 right up there in sacks.
I think they're like 18 or 19 sacks. That's pretty good. I mean,
I was happy to see Sweat getting out there, because he's one of those guys that I've heard about, and that you hear about.
He can play, man.
Yeah,
he can play.
That is just doing people dirty in practice and one-on-ones and stuff. So I love to see it when those stories can actually transfer to game day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'd be excited to see what else we get from him.
They just got to keep those fellas healthy, him and Barnett, because Barnett, like you said, Trey, man, he was working Trent Williams, man. It wasn't nice for him last night. All of the guys on the D-line did well. And, our homeboy in the secondary, he showed up. He played corner.
Yeah, Jalen Mills. He flexing on fools out there, man.
Goblin.
Yeah, the Green Goblins. Stop the touchdown. Stop them on the 1 yard line.
I know, on the touchdown, right? That shit was funny.
October, bro.
This shit was funny as hell, because, like, the dude caught it. And I'm like, looking at it, I'm like, no, he was down. But the man saying touchdown, boy, Mills was like, hey, boy, you talking to him, dog. That's what I'm talking about. Boy, that ain't coming with the energy, dog. He's playing referee and corner.
And if you need a fan, I got a fan too. Whatever you need right now.
But I like him better at corner, because at safety, it's like they just putting you here really for like leadership, really. Like that's what they put in there for, try to be like the next Malcolm. But you ain't Malcolm. No, just go back to your corner spot. They drafted the dude Wallace, what, like the 2nd or 4th round? I don't know. I think it's 2nd round from Clemson. I mean, you got to pay these guys. See what they're about.
But I feel like they think that they need that position needs to be a character, like in this franchise, right? All the way back to B-Doc. B-Doc was a character.
Yeah.
You got Malcolm. Malcolm's a character. Yeah. And now we got the green. Now we got the Green Goblin.
Yeah, safety is such a swag position. You get to stand up, put the line of scrimmage, you know what I'm saying? Talk a little trash, then back up and move around. You float around and everything. It's like a super cool position on the defensive side of the ball.
And you got to bring the energy.
Yeah, you got
to you can even kind of be a poser at safety, because you need that energy.
Yeah, you need that energy.
You should be a poser?
And the Green Goblin is going to come with the energy. I love the way he plays, man. And for him to come out there and he played that game, man, I mean, you had a solid receiver core out there, man. I mean, Kittle's just,
Yeah, but by his antics, dude, you don't know if they up by 30 or down by 50. Like, because
I love it.
No matter what, he going to give you something. I'll be looking forward to that shit, too. I'll be looking forward to it. I'm like, he about to give me one. He going to do something.
Yeah, he going to give you something. And that's what you need. You ain't get that shit. But you know what? Another thing that I thought when they had that little camera that was down there, the action camera or whatever.
A little Showtime camera in the end zone joint. Yeah.
This defense needed that. So that they can be able to make a play and then they go get in front of the Showtime camera and pose and do all of that. This team, that's what that defense is all about. That's so Jalen Mills right there. It fits them. It fits that defensive unit. And whenever they made a play, they went to that Showtime camera because they don't have the fan base to show out for. So at least you have that camera there that you can go out there and act the ass in front of and get that energy going.
I think that they should put more of them in the end zone. More Showtime cameras everywhere. Why not? Maybe they could go the cheap route, or they could go cheaper route and just put mirrors. You know what I mean?
No, they need the Showtime.
It's really what they need, just a mirror in the end zone. These dudes just want to dance in the mirror.
They need to get in the mirror. They want to know that it's being seen out there to the world, that they flexing in front of everybody. We're going to flex as one unit, and everybody come together. And I mean,
could you imagine if it was like a funhouse mirror, and then there was like 1,000 of them flexing at once?
Yeah, there you go.
1,000.
I think we're on to something, guys. The mirror. The mirror.
I mean, it is Halloween.
So get a funhouse mirror and make it like a little camera, and then it'd be like 1,000 of them like there. You put it in the end zone. But I think that this team needed that, man. And this was I think that for our defensive unit, this is definitely something that they can build off of. I hope it's a spark that can continue on, because you're gonna need all this shit coming up for Pittsburgh, and especially Baltimore. And don't mess around and get caught slipping in New York, because I mean, that's a hungry team too. But just not going too far ahead. You got the Steelers next week, or this week.
Oof.
Coming off of a bye week.
Coming off a bye. So they upset that they ain't play this week.
Yeah, so they got a lot of pent-up energy.
Well, and they got a lot of time to scout the next opponent. Like, I mean, they already got the whole game plan on Jordan Mailata and the offensive line, so to speak. So, I mean, Doug gonna have to come with it this week, man.
Fuck that, like,
gotta come with it.
We gonna win again.
That's all. Hey, but what was it? What was your thought?
Against all odds.
Against all odds.
Well, so what's up with Doug not playing the running back in the last series of the game? Miles Sanders.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You got me.
I don't know. Maybe his glute was still hurt because he was butt hurt last week.
Oh, no.
Wait a second. Who was butt hurt?
Miles Sanders. His injury was glute. He had a glute.
Oh, okay. So that's why he didn't play.
Interesting.
I don't know. Oh, I'm just asking,
he was butt hurt about the fans.
I don't know. We wanted to go with something different. And then they piled it up in there. You went inside zone to the left, and everything stopped right there on the line of scrimmage. I mean, and then you tried to go inside zone to the right, and then Big Jordan got backdoored by the 3 technique, and then he tried to back into him, and then that got stuffed. And then they tried to call a Q8, and again, Big Jordan, he tried to step down to the B gap, but never came back out to the outside. When you got a Q8, you got to step down and then that jab and pick like we used to do. And he never did come back out for the defensive end that was just chasing him down, chasing Carson down.
Oh, you got to do the waterfall properly.
Yeah, the waterfall.
Is a very tricky technique.
It's not something to be taken lightly.
Trey, let me ask you this. Have you ever been waterfalling so hard that you tripped and fell on your ass?
I've always tried not to. Maybe I have, what I'm saying? Probably somewhere along the way, because your heels get caught in the grass,
I definitely have. I water fell right onto my ass.
Yeah, because you want that waterfall to look nice.
I think I tried to do like a backward somersault. I think I tried to do like a backward somersault, make it look smooth.
Yeah.
No.
But because that was a sack on that last play. And a lot of people, and I haven't corrected anyone yet, because a lot of people have been writing, man, Jordan Mailata came out of the game with 0 pressure, 0 sacks. That last play was a sack, and it was on him because he didn't waterfall properly. But,
Well, I mean, maybe he never felt like his inside gap was secured. Because the waterfall, you got to secure the inside gap, and then waterfall out.
He was looking at Nate. Nate was right there. He was staring at Nate the whole time.
He's like, is it secure? I don't know. Is it secure?
And Nate is trying to tell him, waterfall.
Should have popped out behind him.
Yeah, never had to worry about that. Too busy reaching the shade front side. So
you gotta get it, man. Gotta get it. What's
but
man?
I mean, they gonna have their hands full this week.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah, it'll be good. One
day
I'm gonna
put it. Or is it here?
It's in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think they have fans.
What do you think the injury report is going to look like this week? We have a couple rest days in there. I think we need to give Lane a rest day.
Yeah. He's definitely going to get a rest day. Kelsey's going to get a rest day because I think
Kelsey deserves one.
Huh?
Go ahead and give Kelsey one.
Yeah, he's going to have it because he had a groin
We got to
issue.
keep him out there, bro. Just keep him happy, all right?
Yeah. You're going to give Fletcher a rest day.
Yeah, I think them older guys, I mean, if they're going to put the pads on,
but even when they put the pads on, it ain't.
They don't be doing that anyway.
You just got the pads on. It's not.
Hey, what time is the game this week? Are we a 1 o'clock game?
Yeah, it's a 1 o'clock game.
1 o'clock Sunday.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, that should be good because I was falling asleep during that game last night.
Man, I had to do a
struggle,
post-game
man.
show, so
it was hard. It was cool.
It was a struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I fell asleep quite a few times, but I did some catching up. I had it on record.
I missed a lot of plays. I'm like, what the fuck? That happened? Holy shit!
I definitely wasn't live tweeting.
Yeah, no.
I definitely wasn't live tweeting.
Well, cool, man. Well, hey, man, it's always good to catch up with you guys, man. Hopefully this will be the spark that we can keep building off of. Yeah, man.
Bro. Against all odds, the release, it's the thing that turned it all around.
Yeah, against all odds. But hey, everybody that's watching this, man, please go and check out D-Jack's album. And let us know. Hit us back. Let us know what you think, man. Just so that we will read the reviews next week. How about that?
D-Jack, I expect a shout out on one of the remixes.
Yeah, already. Yeah.
Come on, bro. I got your back. D-Jack.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, cool, man. Good talking to you guys again, man. Until next time.
Toodaloo, motherfucker. Hey, you